But it's not always that easy to manage good water quality in a practical farm environment. And the reason for that is that the way that we are managing our sheds and the way that we are supplying water into our poultry units means that it's very, very difficult to achieve clean, healthy, potable water all the time. So our chicken houses are nice and warm. We have quite low levels of flow through the drinking lines, and that means as the water speed slows down in the pipes, anything that might be floating within that water will sediment out. So you get sedimentation into the water pipes. We put things in our water pipes which feed bacteria, multivitamins, electrolytes, antibiotics, believe it or not. Antibiotics will kill bacteria in your chicken, but they also contain a whole bunch of other carriers and palletizers, and those things can feed bacteria in water lines. And over time we can get a thing called a biofilm building up. So that is a symbiotic relationship of all sorts of bugs and debris that we've seeded into the water lines, and that can lead to problems with long-term dispersal of bacteria into our chickens' intestines. The water systems are generally quite hard to clean. They've got lots of nooks and crannies. They've often got perishable parts, rubbers and things, which are quite likely to perish when they come into contact with nasty chemicals, and often we just don't look after them as well as perhaps we should or we could. And as the water flow slows down, you get more and more sedimentation occurring, and this is what we call the biofilm formation. So the biofilm is often precipitated in the first place by this sedimentation of things that are within the water lines, which will include bacteria and yeast and mold and fungus, and they settle and they adhere to the inside of the pipe, and they form a community of what is best described as slime or sludge. And that community of slime or sludge undergoes a life cycle. So it has periods of its life cycle where it is sedimenting and adhering to the pipework. It has periods of the life cycle where it's multiplying up and getting larger and larger. And it has other periods in its life cycle where it's in a release phase, where it's releasing all of that bug and debris and nastiness. It's releasing it into the water lines. So at a particular point in time, the birds will be drinking vast, vast quantities of nasty, nasty bacteria. Some of the data that I've sort of gathered over the course of my study seems to suggest that as TVC counts increase, there's a level where you start to get lower production, and then as TVC counts increase even more, then you start to see higher mortality. If you can get TVC counts less than 300 colony forming per mil, theoretically that ought to be favourable for performance, so it should help your birds attain their best possible performance. And if you don't care about egg numbers, if you really just want to get livability, which seems like a slightly unusual situation, but if that's where you are, then you should be targeting trying to get a TVC count of less than 750 colony forming units per millilitre. So that tends to lead to better livability. And what does that mean in pounds, pennies and pence? We've got essentially, if flocks that have a TVC of higher than 300 colony forming units per mil appear to produce about 4.5% below breed standard on average, and where we get that TVC count lower than 300, they're near enough on breed standard. So you're looking at nearly a 5% improvement by going from higher than 300 to lower than 300. If you just want to look at Pseudomonas as an indicator for general bird health, if you have Pseudomonas, on average, you were producing nearly 7% below breed standard. If you didn't have Pseudomonas, on average, you were producing on about 1% above breed standard. So I think there's really good evidence here that we ought to be targeting Pseudomonas as a nasty bacteria that's causing us problems. That's nearly an 8% difference in production. If you can get the TVC count below 670 colony forming units per mil, people were seeing, on average, 1.35% improvement in mortality, and again the difference with Pseudomonas was nearly 1.5% in terms of mortality. So getting clean water lines without Pseudomonas, you're looking at 1.5% improvement in mortality, potentially a 7% improvement in production, which seems to me quite good.